Why is everyone in a rush? And not just on the highway, but rush to get married, rush to buy a house, rush to have a family, rush to make a certain amount of money by a certain age. These are some questions that I was asking myself about a year ago, and I realized that literally everyone around me is in some kind of hurry to get somewhere. Now in this video, I am going to be talking about how I achieved success through my spiritual awakening journey. I wanted to do some research on how other YouTubers have created similar videos about their success stories. And I came across this video of this person who was talking about how they went from being drunk all the time and getting arrested to then becoming a millionaire by the age of 29. And after watching that video, I had a whole lot of imposter syndrome suddenly start to flood in. Why did I ever think that I could make a video talking about success when I don't even have $1 million? It dawned on me that this is the exact reason why I need to make this video. There's people out there just like you and me that are comparing themselves to other people's stories, journeys, and everything else. Comparing themselves to how they look, what they have, and suddenly you're asking yourself like, wait a minute, I don't have any of that, so something must be wrong with me. One thing that snapped me out of this comparison feeling was when I finally channeled my higher self and I was asked the question of, what does success feel like? So when I channeled my higher self and I received that question and I allowed myself to answer it honestly, that's when everything made sense to me once again. Take a moment to just pause here and ask yourself that same question. What do you think success feels like? And one other thing I'm curious to know about, how did your parents support you through your dreams? Were they encouraging you to pursue them? Or were they telling you that the dreams that you have are not realistic enough? Were they telling you that you shouldn't pursue those dreams because you'll never make it? Ask yourself that question, like, were my parents supportive? Or were they always telling me, no, don't do that, you shouldn't? Now, if you want to know my answer, success for me feels like freedom and fulfillment, because I am literally in a position in my life where I get to show up as my full authentic self every single day. And I'm also in a position in my life where every single thing I do gives me fulfillment. One thing that I've learned about myself is that I am here on this planet to help people remember their purpose in life. And I know exactly how to do that. So going back to the dreams that you had when you were little, maybe you remember them. If you do, great. Maybe you don't. Maybe your parents were the type to tell you that you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. Maybe it wasn't your parents. Maybe it was your friends. Maybe it was just society in general. My mom was always very supportive of my dreams and my goals. She never once judged me for dreaming. She never judged me for how I was dressing in middle school. She was always very open-minded of me. So I want to talk to you guys about how my dream evolved and how it is that I got towards pursuing my purpose in life. And it really all started with the very first dream that I can remember having, which was wanting to be a ballerina on Broadway. At the time when I was this young, I was taking dance classes. I took dance classes for years. I loved dancing, I loved performing on stage. However, I didn't like going to class. I was always very insecure. I was very antisocial. I didn't feel like I fit in with the other students. It just wasn't an environment that I felt comfortable in. So by the time I got into middle school, I started realizing that I can't make it as a ballet dancer if I don't like going to dance class. And so I told my mom, like, take me out of dance class. In this point in my life, I was in middle school. I was very heavily in the emo scene kid phase. I was practicing my makeup every single day like it was my job. And I had so much fun doing that. I went from wanting to become a ballet dancer to wanting to be a full-blown rock star. And I allowed myself to pursue this dream by forming a band with my best friend at the time, and we performed at the school's talent show. After experiencing that little slice of fulfillment, that dream just didn't last long enough for me to want to continue on with wanting to do that. I changed and I evolved. And at this point, I was already in 8th grade, going into high school. The show Project Runway was very popular. And I still remember the first day that I watched it. I was so inspired. I literally got my notebook out and started sketching designs right away. And I wanted to become a fashion designer. I literally felt it all throughout my entire being that this was exactly what it is that I wanted to do. I believe that pursuing your dreams, as long as you are pursuing them and learning from your experiences, you are ultimately going to get to where it is that you ultimately want to be. Going back to the story of me wanting to become a fashion designer, I was very lucky that the high school I was going into offered fashion design classes. Once I was in those classes and I realized all that it takes to become a fashion designer and the amount of stress and pressure that you're constantly put under in order to create an entire garment by a deadline is not anything that I wanted to do at all. I loved the drawing aspect. I wanted to just be the designer and not make the clothes. But part of it was learning how to make the clothes too. Even though I realized that this wasn't something I wanted to do at all, even though my entire being felt at one point that this was what I wanted to do, after allowing myself to pursue it and learn from it, I was so thankful that I actually went through the classes. It taught me something about myself, and I would have much rather gone through it then than find out about that later on in my life. So after my fashion design dreams ended and went down the drain, my dream continued to evolve. So at this point is when I no longer wanted to become a fashion designer, but now I just wanted to focus on learning how to become a makeup artist. This is where I'm going to talk to you about the 4-step process that I realized I was doing this entire time that got me to where I am today. And that 4-step process consists of having the dream, researching what is required to make that dream happen, actually taking the steps towards pursuing that dream, and then receiving feedback and learning about yourself from pursuing this dream. Once you start pursuing your dream and you pursue it full circle, it's gonna naturally take you to the next dream, to the next goal. It's just natural for it to keep going and for it to evolve. You don't even have to think about it. It literally just happens. It's like magic. Now, this is why it's important to really know who it is that you are and what it is that you like. Because if you don't know who it is that you are and what it is that you like, how the heck are you going to know what it is that you want to do? And this is where spiritual awakening really comes into place, because it forces you to heal. It forces you to release and remove the layers that are not actually you, but the things that society has put over you, telling us that this is who we should be and this is what it is that we should want. And it's not until you learn to heal the aspects of yourself that are not you, is when you're really going to know what it is that you do want for yourself. Trust your dreams and your goals. You should learn how to trust the things that excite you, and you should allow yourself to pursue them, because they are literally breadcrumbs that are leading you towards where it is that you want to be. Now, obviously my dream of wanting to become a makeup artist evolved, but I did allow myself to fully pursue that dream. I did the research required. I found out that I should start working on my portfolio while I was still in high school. I was literally planning and mapping out exactly what it is that I should do. I asked my friends to let me put makeup on them, and they modeled for me, and we took pictures, and it was a lot of fun, and it was very creative. This is also the time when I realized that I didn't just want to become a makeup artist, I also wanted to help people, because I loved that feeling that I got after doing my friend's makeup, feeling of fulfillment, especially when I saw how it made my friends feel. I started cultivating more of this feeling, this desire of wanting to help others through what it is that I do. And I feel like that is super important, because once you start connecting your dream to your heart, there is no way that your dream is not gonna actually happen. But again, I did not become a makeup artist. Now I'm gonna have to make a separate video about that and why I didn't become a makeup artist, because that is really the meat of where my spiritual awakening was pretty much forced on me. If you're curious to hear about that, let me know in the comments. So to make a long story short, I ended up pursuing a career in becoming an esthetician, An esthetician is someone that works with the skin, someone that works at a spa. And this is really where a lot of people that know me in person tell me that they feel so inspired by what it is that I do. And a lot of times they want to also go on to becoming estheticians as well. And I think that's great. I think when you feel that inspiration, that is a breadcrumb for you, that person that you're inspired by has something that you want to experience too on some level. I also want to clear up the misconception that once you start pursuing your dream, that things are just going to become easy. The difference between someone that has achieved their goals and someone that hasn't is that the person that achieves their goals doesn't give up easily. When faced with the first problem or the first challenge, they learn ways of overcoming it. They're not going to let any problems tell them that their dream is something that they should just give up on. Versus the person that doesn't achieve their goals gives up easily. So you should know that it's not going to be easy. The universe is gonna challenge you. Trust me, is just how it is. And the reason why the universe wants to challenge you is so that you can ultimately grow and become a better person. The goal is to evolve, truly. I mean, that's kind of why we're here on earth, or at least what I believe. Part of it is to love what we're doing and enjoy it, and the other part is to feel all of the emotions, even the sucky ones. No matter what is happening, no matter how hard the circumstance seems, no matter how problematic the challenge feels, how hard and how stressful it is, know that it's happening to you for a reason, and that you have full capability and all the power within you to overcome it. And that's exactly where the spiritual awakening comes into play, because that's exactly what's happening. Your spirit just wants you to experience this so that you can learn from it and grow and evolve. What really helped me continue on, even through all the challenges that I was experiencing throughout my life of becoming an esthetician and, continuing to find what it is that I wanted, was my spirituality, was my faith. It was my inner belief system that I had started cultivating when I was a child, which was that I am meant for more and that things are going to work out in my favor even when it doesn't seem like they are. I truly allowed myself to believe this, and I still do to this day. Like, my inner belief system has just continued to get stronger and stronger throughout time. So one thing that's really going to help you along your journey is really your relationship to your higher self, is your relationship to your own inner belief system. That is something that I highly recommend that you start cultivating now, because without that, it's gonna be so much easier to crash and burn and give up. If you have a dream, if there is something there within you that you have always wanted to do, that dream is there for a reason. It wasn't just in there just because. No, it's there for a reason. It's your gift. It's what it is that you have to offer to the world. The last bits of insight is follow what is in your heart, follow your passions. Once you fully allow yourself to pursue it full circle, the next evolution is gonna naturally come through. The next goal is naturally gonna form. And eventually you're gonna get to where it is that you ultimately wanna be, which is the whole point of this video. So I hope that after watching this video, you feel a little more inspired and a little more curious about yourself to figure out what it is that you have within yourself that you want to make happen. Do the research, do the 4-step process that I was telling you about, and full-heartedly pursue that dream. If you struggle with believing in yourself, then I highly encourage you to work with either a therapist or a coach. I am certified as a soul purpose coach, so I see clients one-on-one in person. But you really should do the research to find someone that's going to help you make this dream happen. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier.